All right, let's say we've got it figured out. We've diagnosed the issue, maybe
Mhm.
mindset, maybe strategy, maybe external factors. Let's say we've got that figured out. The next step would be to break it down. Don't sit and dwell on this giant thing, even like cancer causes death.
Yeah.
Break it down. What can we do? What are the pieces? How do we look at those different pieces? Look at all of them from a positive standpoint, which sounds good. I'm going to talk about a couple of ways to do that in a little bit. But here's the thing: what you want to do, don't try to fix everything at once. Look
Mhm.
at the small piece. See if so we've identified the problem. Here it is. We've broken it down into its component pieces. Which one would give us the biggest leverage? Okay.
Yep.
So once we figure it out, set the right direction and build momentum. So again, fixing that little thing will spur us to be on the right track, which starts to change everything, turn it around, and move us forward. Go with that. Go with the momentum. All right. What if it's because you are absorbed in your own self, in your own world, and you are not having the same level of rapport that you might normally with people? Well, think about why you do what you do. Think about why you sell. And by the way, if your answer is only to make money, you're either in the wrong field or selling the wrong thing.
Mhm.
I mean, yes, we all work to make money. That's true. However, I work whether or not I make money. And I always have
Yeah.
because I love what I do. And, I think behind every person that's really successful is that kind of motivation.
You got to have that obsession almost.
If you look at Steve Jobs when he was alive, he was obsessed with perfection. I mean, absolutely obsessed. He lost his company, it was taken out from under him. But he, with absolute single focused obsession, started again. And then they wanted him back, right? And
Mm.
again, he was so obsessed and in love with what he does, with creating the perfect product. That's what drove him, not money. You couldn't spend all the money the guy had.
Yeah.
It was the obsession for why he does what he does.
Yep.
So if you're only doing something for the money, reevaluate, because you will run into more of these slumps than you would care to run into if that's the only reason you're doing what you do.
100%.
Okay, next, shift your mindset to one of making incremental changes. Figure out not only where you can make the first change, but the second change, the third change. And let me give you some ideas that'll help. If the slump comes from, your workplace, let's just say, okay, then how about connect with people, with customers that are in your program? Ask them how they're doing. Ask them to tell you about their wins. Reconnect with people on a genuine level. Help them to figure out what it is that they're doing that's working. Offer to help them. I mean, this is an amazing thing you can do. It can help you to connect deeper with people, and that helps the slump go bye bye. Ricky, have you seen any of that kind of thing? In I know you are constantly touching base with your customers, and I
Yeah.
think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It's, you know, m- as we both agree on, money is important, but when you focus on the bigger picture, and you focus there, the money just naturally comes. I mean, that's like when I was in the audiology business. Sure, like whenever I sold somebody some hearing aids, sure, I got my commission, and obviously I was happy about that. But seeing the transformation was what was more impactful to me than the money I got. Right, and now that I'm in the online, high ticket space, I mean, same thing. I mean, seeing somebody go from wherever they're at to where they want to be, and knowing that we played a critical role in that, for me, it just, it really, I like it. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I just like it. I like helping people.
That's exactly it. There's another thing that I want to point out that really can get us into a slump, and that is if you're projecting desperation, neediness.
Mhm.
Neediness stinks. I say it
Mhm.
long and loud all the time because it is always, almost, I should say, always, an issue with salespeople. They need to make the sale. They're there to make the sale, and so you have to get out of that needy place. You have to be there in a different place, even if you have to just set it aside. Then set it aside because neediness will absolutely cause people to treat you differently.
Yeah.
They'll treat you like as if you smell bad, like as if you didn't shower that day.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the salespeople who are more detached from the outcome are the ones who produce more. Like even without adding any extra techniques or anything like that, as soon as somebody can detach, I don't know. It's kind of like you're pulling the prospect in instead of trying to say, hey, how can how can I bend over backwards to to make you do this? Like no, like it's like I said, just learn to be detached. This is probably horrible, but as soon as I get off the conversation with someone, I almost forget about them. Like that's how detached I am. I mean, yeah, I follow up with them and all this other kind of stuff, but yeah, I mean, you gotta get detached. It's it's
Absolutely.
a it's a critical thing to do, and if you don't know how to do that, I would highly suggest you learning how to detach from the outcome.